Hello everyone and welcome back to another automotive tutorial that will help you save money. In this episode I'll be installing and wiring up two Android headrest screens that will make long journeys much more enjoyable for rear passengers, while also giving an older vehicle a modern premium look even if it didn't come with this feature from the factory. The installation will be clean, professional and completely safe for your vehicle's electrical system. So stay tuned because this video is packed with useful tips and interesting details. But first, let's start with a quick unboxing. I bought these two screens from Xtrons. I've installed several head units from them in my customers' cars and I've been very happy with their performance, so this time I decided to buy the screens for my own car, probably as the last upgrade I'll make to the ML. As you'll see, it's already packed with gadgets. I'll leave all the links and related videos in the description. Let's see what we get in the box. We have of course a very useful instruction manual printed in color. I'll show you the screen's features after the installation part so we don't spend too much time here. Inside this protective wrap we have the 14-inch screen with a Qualcomm 662 processor, Android 13, 4GB RAM and 64GB storage with a Full HD touchscreen and 4G connectivity. You can pair the two screens to see the same image, you can rotate it for a portrait view, it has HDMI inputs for a gaming console and allows you to insert a SIM card for mobile data. Of course you can also use your phone's hotspot because it has Wi-Fi reception. Next we have this power cable which can be connected directly to the fuse box using fuse tab connectors. It also has two audio outputs if you want to connect the screen to the car's audio system using an analog connection. Of course, the sound can also be transmitted via Bluetooth, so I don't see the point in going through the trouble of making this kind of audio connection. The ACC and 12-volt wires have inline fuses, so there is no risk to the electrical circuit. Next we have a power cable with a plug for direct power from the cigarette lighter and a power on-off switch with an LED. This is for a plug-and-play installation, but I'm going to do something much more interesting in this episode for an OEM integration by connecting the power wires directly to the cigarette lighter wires and adding an LED power switch in place of the cigarette lighter socket, which I never use anyway. Here we have a universal bracket for mounting the screens to the headrest posts. It's very easy to install, all you have to do is loosen and tighten two screws using the Allen key provided in the box. This is an HDMI cable and with a splitter you can display the image from a gaming console on both screens for multiplayer gaming, with each player having their own screen. This is a USB-A to Type-C adapter for playing any file from a flash drive. And finally we have an Allen key for installing the screen bracket. Here is all you get in the box. Let's start the installation. For the master power switch I'm using a 25mm thread diameter latching push button with an integrated LED. It's rated for up to 5 amps, which is more than enough for these two screens. This is a wiring diagram that I made for you. It's my first time using such a switch, but it wasn't that complicated to figure out how it works. I'll take the positive supply from the power source, which in my case is the positive wire from the cigarette lighter, and solder it to the lower pin, which will be my positive input. When the button is pressed, the middle pin will receive power. This output will supply both the positive terminal of the button's built-in LED and the two screens at the same time. Of course, both the LED and the screens also need a negative or ground connection. For that, I'll use the ground wire from the cigarette lighter. I ordered the switch from an online store and unfortunately it didn't come with a dedicated connector, so I had to make the connections using a soldering iron. I'm not that skilled at soldering, but in the end I managed to make the connections and used heat shrink tubing to prevent the wires from shorting in the soldered areas. Here I soldered the positive input and output and labeled each wire to make the installation easier. The positive input is marked ACC because the positive wire from the cigarette lighter only has power when the ignition is on, and the output wire is labeled screens because it will power the screens. This is basically the final configuration and how I label the wires. You can of course label them however you think is easier. I still need to make the bridge between the positive output marked screens and the LED ACC. I've made the bridge between the two, so both the screens and the LED will receive power at the same time when the button is pressed, provided of course that the car's ignition is on, because the cigarette lighter in this car only receives power with the ignition on. The black wire is the ground for the LED, which will be connected to the cigarette lighter ground, and the red wire is the positive input, which will be connected to the power source, meaning the positive wire of the cigarette lighter. These are the power cables for one of the screens, from which I removed the fuse tap adapters for the fuse box. I connected the 12 volt and ACC wires together so that the screens are powered with the ignition. If you connect the screens directly to the fuse box, you can keep these two wires separate, since you can use a constant 12 volt source for the B+ wire and the switched 12 volt source for ACC. With B+ connected to constant power, the screens can enter sleep mode when the ignition is turned off. Standby power consumption is very low, and the main advantage is that the screen can wake up much faster instead of performing a full reboot every time you push the power button. The second screen will also be powered from this WAGO connector, and all the ground wires will be connected to the cigarette lighter ground wire. To help you understand it even better and to test how everything works, I used the cigarette lighter in the trunk of the car. I connected the power cables to the screen using the dedicated connector. Here we have the same connections I showed you earlier. I connected the ground of the switch LED and the ground of the screen to a single wire, which I connected to the ground of the cigarette lighter connector, and of course the positive or ACC wire to the positive. Of course, I turned on the ignition, and now we can test if everything works. As you can see, the switch LED works. Now I press and hold the screen's touch-sensitive power button and it boots up. Now I press the button again and the screen turns off. On my Mercedes ML, it's very easy to route the power cable through the seat. The backrest has a large plastic panel protecting the rear section, held in place by only 2 screws. After removing the screws, I simply unclip the panel. At the end, it needs to be pulled downward to remove it. The lower part of the upholstery can be detached so you can route the cables underneath the seat. Then I use the magnet with a flexible extension as a guide wire to route it through the inside of the seat and up to the base of the headrest. I attached the cable to the extension using electrical tape and guided it all the way up with the help of the extension. Then I installed the screen bracket, which is probably the easiest part of the installation. Ideally, you should install the bracket with this side facing upward so you can access the screen locking mechanism. I connected the 2 power cables for the screen and secured the connection with electrical tape. I attached the screen to the bracket and pulled the excess cable behind it. This is what the bracket area looks like. The cable is practically invisible from any angle. I removed the center console. I didn't film the entire process because I already have a video showing this extremely simple job, and I'll add the link in the description. To keep them out of the way while routing the wires, I removed the 2 fuses from inside these cylindrical housings. Then you simply disconnect the wires from one end of the fuses. A large part of the cable will remain inside the seat. Then I routed the cable underneath the seat. Then I secured the cable with a zip tie. I reinstalled the fuses. Then I removed the cigarette lighter connector. To remove the cigarette lighter, you need a strong hook tool and you have to pull very hard on the metal part inside. I don't think there's an easier way because there are no locking tabs that can be pressed. I then placed the nut on the back, routed the wires I had soldered, and screwed the switch into the nut. Everything was firmly secured and looks factory installed. I performed another test before cutting the cigarette lighter connector and connecting the second screen. The switch LED came on when I pressed the button, the screen turned on, and of course it also turned off using the button. I installed the second screen and completed all the necessary electrical connection using WAGO connectors. It's hard to say from the video with so many wires, so I made another simple diagram. All the ground wires from both screens and the switch are connected together in one WAGO connector, which is connected to the ground wire of the cigarette lighter. All the ACC and B+ 12 volt wires from both screens are connected together in another WAGO connector and then connected to the positive output of the switch. And finally, the positive input of the switch is connected to the positive wire of the cigarette lighter. This way, pressing the switch supplies 12 volts to both screens and the LED at the same time, while pressing it again completely cuts their power. This is how everything looks after the installation. I will then show you how fast and smoothly these screens operate, and keep in mind that these units only have 4 GB RAM. Without the additional switch, the only time the screens could draw power from the battery is when the ignition is left on with the engine off. If the screens are in standby, that consumption is only around 6 to 20 mA per screen, which is very low. On vehicles where the cigarette lighter has constant 12-volt power even when the ignition is off, I would definitely recommend installing a master switch like this. Otherwise, the screens will remain connected to the battery at all times, even when they're turned off and only drawing a small amount of power in standby mode. Let me show you how the screens work and some of their features in real time. I'll use no copyright music in the background so I don't get any claims. The screens have built-in speakers as well as a headphone jack. Headphones or gaming controllers can of course be connected via Bluetooth. For mobile data, you can insert a SIM card into the screen or connect it to a Wi-Fi network or your smartphone's hotspot. Since I've bought products from them before, I also asked Xtrons for a discount code for my followers, and I managed to get a generous 10% discount code, which is displayed on the screen now and is valid for only 6 months.
Plug it in, let's go. I like my dogs, I don't like stock. Grab a screwdriver, beat the clock. Wireless car, lay Android suit. OM look for something new. Pop the trim, don't break the clips. Every upgrade's got its tricks. Plug and play, no cutting wires. Factory style with modern vibe. I like mods, yeah, that's my style. Making old cars worth your while. Click and store, then hit the road. Every ride gets upgrade mode. I like mods, fast and clean, better than you've ever seen. DIY, no mystery, building automotive history. Reverse camera, crystal clear, digital dash, shifting gears, touchscreen lighting up the night. Everything just works just right. Bluetooth calling, maps on screen, factory fit, super clean. Every project, one more win. Time to tear the dashboard in. I like mods, yeah, that's my style. Making old cars worth your while. Click and store, then hit the road. Every ride gets upgrade mode. I like mods, fast and clean, better than you've ever seen. DIY, no mystery. Welcome to the DIY scene. No more limits, no more waits. Every bill elevates. If you love your ride like
I've wanted to buy this set of screens from Xtrons for a long time because I've installed Android units from them in my customers' cars, and I was really impressed with their quality. These screens pair really well with the digital cluster and the Android unit, and the interior of my 2012 ML looks more like that of a new GLE, except my car is more reliable. I'm still not sure if this will be the last upgrade I make to this car. If you have any other ideas, leave them in the comments and I'll try to make a video with the product you suggest. Because I did all the upgrades myself as DIY projects, I saved a lot of money, and thanks to my tutorials you can do it too. Since I've been doing YouTube for many years, I also asked the sellers for discount codes, so don't forget to check the description where you'll find absolutely all the information you need. If my videos are helpful to you, reward the huge amount of work involved in creating this content by leaving a like, posting a comment, and of course subscribing, because I have many other projects in progress involving all kinds of car models and gadgets made for them. See you in the next one.